super duper viewer. Don't forget, we are here to give heed to your questions and also give you a perfect answer for them. And also, I'm here with the lead pastor again of the Lost Grace Provinces Church, aka PJA, aka the counselor, aka the teacher. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you so much.
So, sir, during our last interview sections, there were so many questions that popped up from that session, and I hope you are ready to give answers to them.
I'm so intrigued that our viewers found out time to go through those interview sections, the questions, the discussions we had, and they were able to bring out very striking questions. And just hearing some of these questions from the awesome media team, it got me to know that we have a very viable, thinking, intelligent, and full of wisdom listeners. So it has been an exciting moment to be here again to see what we can do about those questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, when it comes to married couples who are not financially compatible, how do they go about it? How do they create that financial compatibility between the both of them?
All right, you have to understand that as a builder comes with a design, and then you look at the design and the type of foundation you want to lay on a particular soil texture cannot be able to suit the type of building you want to raise because of probably the soil strength and all the soil stability. What you're supposed to do is to conduct what we call the soil test. Now the soil test reveals the strength of the soil, reveals the stability of the soil, and gives you an idea of the weight that the soil can be able to carry. So if it's not that, then you look at the way of strengthening the soil. So if the two couples find out that they are not compatible financially, what they need to do is what we call the adjustment strategy. When they will have to sit down, there has to be a lot of talking. I believe that the period of courtship is a period of negotiation. When the two of them have to sit down, talk a lot, have a series of conversation on different quarters of their life, which the financial area is the key. Now, when they discover that there are loopholes or they're not compatible financially, then they need to be able to strategize and adjust, bring in policies, bring in principles, bring in initiatives that can help them manage and control their finances. So that will be able, their excesses will be removed. For example, if the husband finds out that he's an exuberant type and runs into expenditures carelessly, and the wife is much more balanced in area of expenditure, then what could happen is that they can have a policy where a certain amount of money or percentage of money is given to the man, so that even though that one finishes, then he's cool for the month. So that strategical development and initiative from the family, both of them agreeing together, can actually help them to be able to be compatible in their finances.
So a situation whereby this structure doesn't work, are they supposed to do something extra, or it has to be just this?
Of course, like I said, the adjustment, you can make a plan, and then you must have a backup plan for the plan. If you have a plan A, then there has to be a backup plan in case the plan A doesn't work. So you have to always go back to the drawing board. Like I said, the courtship is a period of negotiation, the period of intimacy, is a period where you get to know each other very well. So in that period, when you try something and it doesn't work, you check where you got it right, because the system is not going to collapse outrightly. You are going to have some organs which are failing before the systems as a whole begins to fail. So when you look at the organs that are not working, you are able to fix the organs and then help the system come alive.
Alright, thank you so much, sir. So how can you balance being your wife's lover and being her leader?
Right, a lover is one who deals with emotions. A leader is one who deals with principles. So when you look at a lover's mindset is just the emotional dimension of it, the romantic part of the relationship. Then a leader is someone who there must be a goal that is set, there must be a purpose for you people to achieve. So there must be principles, there must be policies that are guiding you, there must be patterns and systems that are guiding you to be getting to where you want to be as a leader. So the person who is a lover and also a leader has to understand that you have to keep your emotional life at one side, and then you keep your business life at one side. There is no point at which you can marry the two, because the moment you begin to marry the two, one of them is going to suffer, and most times it's the leader that suffers. So a leader is not someone who is emotional, but someone who is realistic, who is logical. Now, you have to know that the end product of leadership is business. That's you must be business minded. But a romantic person wants to get intimacy at the end of the day. So both of you are on the same road, but you're going to take different diversions to meet at a point. Now, that point is to get satisfaction either from the business or from the love life. So when you know that your love life is at one hand and your business life is at one hand, then there is no problem for the leader and also the lover. He knows when to love, and he knows when to also to be logical and take drastic decisions. You don't have to mix your emotions with your love life. So because leadership is geared toward providing the necessities, a leader should be able to remove emotion, be pure logical, and then you have to think strategically and think straight, not mixing any type of emotions. And no matter who else died, most times the lover is going to struggle to adapt to the fact that a leader is also a lover, and you're going to say, I should be receiving maybe a preferential treatment, I should be loved more, I should be cared for more, I should be respected more. But that's business for you, and in the place of business, emotions are not involved and needed at all if you want to be a successful personnel on that area.
Okay, sir. How have you been able to manage these things with your ministry?
Right, the ministry is there. It's just you have to take decisions. You have to take difficult decisions and make the difficult decisions look easy. For example, you might be loving someone, you might be caring for someone, you might like someone's personality, and give the person a position, and then the person is messing around the position, is not straight to the position. You need to kick it out of the way and know that if you try to jeopardize the person's position with his personality, then you have to understand that you are already puncturing the system. So the system must be healthy, and a system that is healthy is a system that has the ability to flow. That is, we have the open channel flow and the closed system flow. So you have to know that this is church, and church remains church. You are not the owner of the church. You are just there as a caretaker. You are just there as a representative, and you must do anything you can do to the best of your ability and knowledge to be able to represent the person that has sent you and has trusted you. So you must not bring your emotions into your judgment as regards to positions and personalities in the church.
Okay, so when it comes to the fulfillment of a ministry, would you say that marriage is important for the fulfillment of a ministry?
Like I said in our first interview section, marriage is important to the fulfillment of a ministry, but it's not mandatory. The reason why I'm saying it's not mandatory, that the duty of a marriage is to give the man peace. So it's possible for the man to be able to put up structures that does the duty of what the woman should be doing, and then there is no point of the woman, but it does not neglect the fact that marriage is important. It is important, but it is not the only thing that makes the ministry to be successful or fulfilled. Yes, the ministry life is not the personal life. The man in ministry has his personal life. The man in the ministry is not the same thing as the man in the house. So the man in the ministry is a man that has been called, and there has been a special advantage that has been given to that man. That special advantage is called the anointing. So, but the man at home is his person. So you are dealing with character and attitude at home. You are dealing with grace and anointing in the ministry. So those two things are quite different. So, but it is the man now that has the anointing and the grace should be able to pinpoint and notice the time he needs a personal life. So, because the structure on its own can be able to do that for you in ministry. So you are going to need a woman, not because of ministry, but because of a personal life. So if you can be able to sort out the challenges that comes from the personal life, that comes from the attitude and character issues, you are able to sort it out outside of the ministry, then you see the ministry will blossom. There are people, individuals today, apostles who are doing exceptionally well without a woman present in their life as legally married. But there are structures that have been set up, like I said, Ministry is ministry, it's not personal life. So if you can be able to sort out your ministry structure and models and follow them suit without the interference of your personal life in the ministry, then they are good to go.
Okay, sir. During the last interview, you said something about you can get a woman that can fit into your values in this period. But when there's this evolvement or there's this evolving, she might not be able to fit into that value when it comes to that time.
Yeah.
So what are the metrics to help determine if a person fits into today's value? And the person
Adaptability quotient. You must check this person. What is the quotient? What is the rate of the person's ability to adapt to changes? So is the person able to change, switch? For example, the Eagles has a way. The Eagles has a way of adapting during the cold times when there are no leaves, and all that, and they have a way to adapt when there are leaves. So the adaptability, even the snakes, there are times that will shed their shells to adapt to. So you must check what is this person's quotients of adaptability, what is the person's quotients to response to change when things are changing. What's the ability of the person to change? So this is a very important metrics that you have to change. Like for example, this person is used to you staying with the personality every time, and then all of a sudden you're not going to be staying, you're going to be at home 2 times a week. Now when those things happens in relationship, when for example you call 100 times a day because you are always available, all of a sudden you reduce it from 100 to 5 times a day. So this person has the ability to understand that though that I'm in need of this person's passions and care, but he has a lot of things to do, and I have to understand that I will have to give him time and space and still give him that love that he needs to support him. If that adaptability quotient is not there, then there's a lot of question mark. Again, you are used to him staying alone, but now he's becoming a public figure. He goes around with people. When these things begin to happen, you need to check it during the times of courtship and relationship to be able to determine if this person has the ability to adapt to change, to respond to stimulus, and then of course that will be a good metrics for you to watch out for.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. You also made mention of a wife ministering to the ministry.
Yeah.
So how can a wife minister to the ministry?
You need to understand that the first ministry the wife has is the husband. The husband is the key factor in the ministry. So ministry to the ministry is the understanding of the wife to help the husband to be better in ministry. You have wives, for example, for me as a minister, the first key area of the life of the minister is not the spiritual life of the minister. A lot of people feel the minister has to, the first place the minister has to be sound is the spiritual life. No. There is something that if it's not in place, it doesn't matter how anointed that minister is, he's going to struggle and it's not going to last in ministry. It's the mental life of the minister. There must be strategies developed by the wife to make sure that the mental health of the husband is in balance, is in check. Because when the mental life is in check, then his study life, his prayer life becomes smooth. But if there are mental walls in his psychology, when he gets to read, when there's a lot of fluctuations that are happening, and just like a cobweb, you're trying to move in a cobweb, so you're fighting, your movement is not sweet, is not sound. So it's just like a car moving on the road filled with bumps and potholes. The movement is not, you have to apply a lot of brakes here and there, and as you are applying those brakes, you're working against time, you're working against the car efficiency, and before you could know it, the car needs to visit an automobile engineer for repair. So the mental being of that husband is very key. So the wife has a very big job to create a mental balance, a conducive mental atmosphere that supports the husband at every given time to be the best he can be. And once the mental being is all right and in a balance, then there is no struggle of any kind for the spiritual life not to respond. I will always say, when the horizontal life, which is the relationship with man, is in order, then the vertical life has no struggles at all. But when the horizontal, which is the relationship with man, is in struggles and you are fighting a lot with your personal relationship with humans, then of course the vertical relationship, the relationship with God, will also be in that same state of struggle.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, a lot of us are single. We are
Yes.
very much single, and we've seen so many marriages, not just marriages, even relationships. Like, we've seen so many structures. Like, we've seen people move in a different dimension of how they structure their relationship and marriage to be. So, sir, to us now who are the single ones, what's the perfect structure? Like, what structure can you give us to be able to manage our relationship and our marriage? Like, what structure is most suitable for us to use?
There is no stereotype structure that works in every marriage, but I have very two common statements I would give. Number one is lock the door against divorce. Number two, know that you are entering into marriage to learn. When you lock the door of divorce, accept the school of thought that you are going to learn. And then when you understand that you are going to be learning, when you understand that you are going to be improving yourself, when you understand that your responsibility that you have is to improve yourself on daily basis, to get better on daily basis, to make sure that you are getting the right, dimension, the right thought in everything that you are doing, it's going to create an avenue.
So, sir, you made mention of you locking your door against divorce and putting on your garments of learning. So, do you want to say that entering marriage is to learn?
Of course, it's a school of thought, because it's like my first 2-3 years in ministry, whenever anybody asks me how is ministry, I said we are learning. It's a learning ground, it's a strange place, and we have to be open for you to be able to develop. So there is a development that is required in marriage. Someone who is 5 years in marriage can never be compared to someone who is 20 years in marriage. So marriage is a learning ground. You have to accept that I'm going to have to discover new things, find out myself, know myself better. There's going to be a true test. It's just like you are recharging for a satellite dish, and then you have about 600 and something channels to watch, and you are only permitted to view only one channel for the rest of your life, maybe next 40-20 years. And when you look at that, it's going to be challenging. Let's say it's just football. There is a time you want to check out other channels. The varieties keeps the things going, but marriage does not give you that opportunity to go into that. So it's just you and one person, and you have to accept that I need to be, for you to be happy, for you to be engaged, for you to develop, for you to be enjoying that marriage, you need to accept there is a school of thought. So if you see his actions that are different and varying from the ones you've already seen, you have to accept that it's a school of thought, and trying to understand the reason behind actions, the reason behind reactions, the reason behind words. Of course, it will keep you engaged, and then the times and the season will be going while you get better and try to develop in that very marriage.
Okay, sir, in that learning process, what if you're discovering that I would have chosen better, I would have done better? What are you not expected to do?
Now, you have to understand that the moment you get into the marriage, there is no better than the one you are in. The reason is that if you have chosen someone else, you are also going to find out that there is another person you have chosen, because there is always a better person than the one you are in. So the first thing you need to do is to accept that I have the best, but the best I have is in a potential format. Just get like a raw material, you get a limestone. Out of the limestone you can produce your cement. So but that limestone, until it is being taken to the refinery and then additives and other things are added to it, you're not going to get your cement. So you have a raw material. Accept I have a great potential. If you accept you have a great potential, and then you are able to have understanding of the training sections, the things you need to do to turn the potential to become something of value, then you know that, okay, I need to develop this person. Then what areas do you need to develop the person? Like I said earlier, when both of you understand that this place is a school of thought where you need to learn to get better and develop, then initiatives are developed, systems are developed, patterns and policies, principles come in to get the marriage better, because your marriage has to have a purpose. Why are you both of you coming together? That's a very striking question you must have to ask yourself in trying to solve that that problem. So when you ask yourself, why are we coming together? Is it for finances? Is it for purpose? For me, I would say that the first thing that marriage gives a man is security beyond every other thing. That sense of responsibility, that sense of protectiveness. Many people think that the essence of marriage is finances, maybe to forget to be financially secured and all that. No, but for me, it is that mental security that you need. That's what marriage is going to provide for you. So when you understand that this is where the marriage, because the marriage should be able to evolve. The reason why people get tired in marriages is because there is no new project for both of you as a couple to pursue. But when there is development of initiative, there are new things to go for, there are new initiatives, there are new projects to pursue. You are finishing a house, you are starting up a company, you are finishing a company, you are getting into real estate, and from real estate there is a tech business for you to develop. You guys are learning together, you are developing together. There are new there are new pursuits, there are new visions. They're never going to get bored, they're never going to get tired. But if the marriage is you rise up in the morning, you eat, you sleep, you go to work, you come back, is routine. Routine gets people tired. Routine gets people worried. And so if there is a routine, you're going to obviously get tired with time. But if there is no routine and there are new objectives, there are new stimulations, you wake up in the morning, there is a new challenge that is facing you up, you need to praise yourself up, there is a new book for you people to study, there are a lot of things for you to develop. The children has to be the strategy for development of the first child is different strategy for the second child, is different strategy for the third child, because you people are building a system. The children are part of the system, that the organs that make up those systems, and then the initiative for you, just like the work the kidney does is different from the work the heart does. So imagine when you are focusing on the heart and you leave the kidney, the body will get tired. So the marriage eventually gets tired. But when there is work going on in the kidney, the work is going on in the heart, the gut is going on in every part of the system. The liver is there functioning on this own. The marriage is lively, the children are lively. Everybody knows that we have to wake up in the morning and there is something to pursue. Whenever that there is something in view for you to get hold of, you guys are not going to stop running. You will never get tired. You will never get.
Okay, sir. So majorly, who should push for this growth? Is it the man or the woman?
The man lays the foundation, the finishing job. I will always say the man has the responsibility of laying the foundation, tilling of the soil, putting the blocks in the right places, and then giving the wife the vision, the picture of what they want to build. Because the husband is the head of the family, so the picture has to be seen. The producer of the picture has to be the man. So what the woman comes down is doing the supporting job, which is the work of decoration, the work of furnishing, setting the house, interior decoration, making the house look very much attractive. So I would say the planting of the seed, just like the Bible said, Paul planted, Apollos watered, God bring the increase. It's a three-man work. So the man sets the vision, the woman produces the energy that is responsible for pursuing of the vision, the children does the work.
Okay, sir. So personally, sir, this question is for you personally.
Okay.
A situation whereby you're carried away by your business, and your wife or maybe your lover is trying to call back your attention that you are carried away by this business of yours, and all she gets is, please, this is what is going to feed us, this is what is going to feed our children. What do you expect her to do? Like, what is she supposed to do at that point?
That statement is already, there's a breach in communication.
Okay.
If you because the husband is now telling the wife, this is what is going to feed the children. The wife should be able to know that this is what is going to feed the children. So there is a communication breach already. But when that communication breach happens and there is a call back home for the man through the wife, now two things are key. How is the wife doing Because you might have a message to pass, but how you pass the message is very key. I will always say that the messenger is always more important than the message. If I am a messenger and I have a message, I can disrupt the effectiveness and the efficiency of the message through the way I present the message. So the messenger that is carrying the message is more important than the message is carrying. And that is why it took Jesus 30 years to understand the message before the message is being delivered. So God took 30 years to prepare the messenger who is going to carry the message, and he needed 3 years to deliver the message. So when the messenger is prepared, thoroughly fashioned, and then is fashioned to provide the right message to the people, that callback message will be there. Now, once that thing happens, the man has to sit, reason and verbalize, and then bring the wife home. It's the duty of that man now to call back the wife home, and then they can check where there was a breach in communication. Because that the problem is the interpretation problem. It's not that the man is doing a wrong thing, but he is doing a right thing in expense of another right thing he should also be doing. So that breach in communication should be checkmated. That's why for me, as a person, I must bring out a day of the week that within a jurisdiction of time, everybody, if we don't have kids, myself and my wife will just come to that. I call it the round table, the table of negotiation, where we come, we discuss, we talk. How was our week, the past week? Okay, what were the things that you suffered that I did, that psychologically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and otherwise? So what are the things that you struggle with that you need us to adjust? That round table meeting is very, very important. Any company, any community, any relationship that must survive must have that round table of negotiation where you checkmate, like it's like a checklist where last week how was it, and then what do we need to do to get hold of this week. I think once that table is been established, then of course that gap will not be found.
Okay, because what I asked is, we ladies, there are some situations that are beyond our control. Sometimes we might just move into a mood that we expect our men to be able to understand that this is what I'm into right now. For example, when we're on our periods, we expect you to be everywhere for us. We expect you to, we want to order you around. Do this for me, do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. Then at the end of the day, my man will not catch that joke of, please, I need you to be around for me. Then if I now want to tell you, all I'll get is nagging. I'm supposed to be doing this thing, I'm supposed to be doing that thing. But like you already said, that establishing that round table discussion will go a long way.
Again, I need to say this. I need to say this. That is one of my principles I function with is never destroy a permanent thing using a temporal situation. When you have a temporal situation, never use it to destroy something that is permanent. What am I trying to say? That period of time when you need your man so much, probably he is not opportune to be there at that moment. Your man is permanent, the situation is temporal. So why would you use a temporal situation to destroy a permanent thing? So if you learn to know that my condition is temporal, the person you are involved with in the relationship, courtship or marriage, it's permanent, it will help you to manage it and look for a way to pass the information to him that there will not be a destruction of what is in the future. Because the moment you begin to permanent a temporal situation, you're already destroying the future.
Okay, sir. All right, someone here asked, what possible advice do you have for ladies, or not just ladies, steps to take in evolving in the aspect of managing from small duties down to global duties?
That vision, I will always say that the man might not be really relationship,
Yes.
but the man in the life of anybody that wants to. The man here, I mean, is not a male. What I mean is the leadership that is in the life of every individual is key to the person's effort. The reason is that every gift needs someone who would take care of the gift. You have a gift that it's small, but the gift needs to be globalized. Now, you will need a manager, or what I call the leadership, that will be able to help you to bring out that your potential. That was the works of people like Mary, Martha, the likes of Jesus has 12 disciples. Who are the 12 disciples that are involved in being great? That question, if you don't answer it, I can assure you, you are going nowhere. Who are your 12 disciples? Who are your anchor men? People who are running with your vision. There are people who are going to abandon their vision to fulfill your vision, and those people are more important than you. Now, understanding that the involvement of that thing is based. Let me give you this. I need you to hear this. Now, listener, I want you to have a key interest on what I'm about to say now. This is really a time bomb. I have discovered that every billionaire have people that they place on salary, that their job is just to think. It is these people's responsibility to give the right initiatives, the right strategies. I call them the think tanks. Now, these are the people who sit back, look at a project, analyze the project, strategize the project, build up a system that must work, give it a timeline for the fulfillment of that particular project. And then it is their work to canvas for the right people who have the ability to turn the vision to be realistic. Now, these are the people, because when you talk about moving the step-to-step globalization, there are steps. Everything you're doing has, incubation stage, a stability stage, acceptability stage, visibility stage, and then the globalized stage. If there has to be a steps-to-step following of this event as they move from stage 1 to stage 5. So that involvement is on the pinnacle and on the shoulders of the leadership. You must have to accept that this is what, like as an individual, I might not like to dress in a certain way, but the producers will make me to dress in a certain way because they understand my audience more than I do. Yes, my duty is just to speak to them, to push out knowledge, but the people that are receiving the knowledge wants me to appear in a certain form. So it is the duty of the producers, the duty of the admins and the marketers to now sit down and analyze and say, okay, good, you have what it takes to produce the knowledge, but your appearance matters. So it is their duty to now, so the leadership is what does the work of the involvement. The evolution is in the pinnacle of leadership.
Okay, sir, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So another person asked, sir, you said that your mentor asked you to go and get married to the church.
Yes.
He said that because he knew it was the right thing for you to get married to at that moment.
Yes.
From the experiential knowledge you have gained during this process, how can an individual determine the right thing to get married to at every stage in life?
The right time that you are supposed to get married. I think one of the things I will first of all say is it determines, one of the determinant factors is the system. The system that you're running, yes, has a long way. For example, it's already an unwritten law that every single person should get married before getting into ministry because of past experiences and all that. But you also have to understand that, like I said earlier, is about structure. If you are in a place where the principle of the church is that you must get married before a church is handed over to you to oversee as a resident pastor or otherwise, it's good for you to obey the principles and the laws that is from the leadership. But for you to now, as an individual, it's just like a lawyer. A lawyer can have a different time to get married, a banker a different time. So there are factors that must be considered. Now, I cannot say I am getting married when the money I have is not enough to take care of myself. Then you are bringing in a woman factor into it. It's going to be chaos. So the timing of the involvement of the project is what should be able to help you to determine when to bring in a woman. So that timing helps you to know, okay, the church now has, because the moment you get married, the next thing is children. You begin to spend money to take care of them and all that. When the capacity, the carrying capacity of the project you are handling is not yet able to manage the requirement it takes to have a family, it will be a wrong decision for you to get into marriage. But you must now be able to checkmate. The project has left the nursery, can now be able to get into the place of competition, the place of adaptation, the place of improvement and involvement, and is able to be able to understand and withstand the pressure that comes with the issues of marriage. So when the project is matured, then the man can set into marriage. Until the project, and you should be able to, that's not a timeline now. For example, it can take someone 10 years, another person 5 years, another person 6 years, another person 7 years for the project to get matured. But if the project, the Bible does not say for a boy, it says for a man. So until you are a man, you are not yet qualified for marriage.
Yes, I believe your
and you can be 45 years boy, you can be 56 years boy, and you can also be 22 years man. So your man nature is your ability to take responsibilities and then be able to bear the consequences when they come.
Yes, thank you, sir. So I believe your vision is alive, like it's bubbling. So this marriage, does it play any role in still keeping that vision alive?
Of course it does. Like I said, for me, I will always say the project is alive as the visionary. Now, God has given me a vision. Now, God is not going to come from heaven and run the vision for me. The Bible says, and Daniel understood by the books. Another thing, Paul says, study to show yourself approved. Now, when you have the study and the research work conducted properly, it is now you that from your experiences and from the knowledge you have gotten, he said, buy the truth and sell it not. Get wisdom, for wisdom is the principal thing. Now, when you have all these things it takes, now you know what the wife is coming to do. Based on, based on the model you are following. Because if you bring in the wife and give the wife a role that is not according to the bloodline of the model, you have created another system and another model of your own, which means the picture you are seeing has been truncated. If you follow the model, the wife should do this kind of thing and this kind of thing and this kind of thing. It's a model. Now, when you now create your own chart, you can tilt it so that it's not exact the same thing, but a replica of what the system is all about. It's okay. But the moment you move away from the original prototype, which is the model you are following, to build, because the ministry that you are doing is not the Holy Spirit that taught you how to do ministry. The person that taught you how to do the ministry is the model you are following. So you must understand what was the wife of the role models, spiritual fathers that you are obeying, the mentor. What was the role of their wife? Now, when you place their wife in the roles, then if there are challenges, you can return back to them and say, this is the challenges we are having. Because they have passed that stage from you, they are able to give you a reasonable solution to your problem. But if you go and create your own system, you should be able to create your own answers when the problems comes.
So someone else is asking, is there anything like God said when it comes to the woman you want to marry? For example, God said I should marry you. Is there anything like that?
God said. God has been saying a lot of things that he has not said. Let's just understand that. But I believe that God can give his blessings for a marriage, not necessarily asking you to marry a certain person. God can say, okay, I bless this marriage. I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it. God saying specifically, is he calling someone's name for you to marry? I believe that God has the ability to say, they are going to marry this. Now, when God said, I should marry you, the you has to be explained. Now, let me explain the you. The you is, let's say your name is George Madugo. When God says, go and marry you, the you is not George Madugo. The you is a character that makes you up. Because on earth, there are people who have the same similar characteristics, the same similar traits, the same color, probably the same height, the same likes and wants, which are your friends. Now, they are your friends because you people understand each other, have the same, you flow together, you guys call it G's. These people are your G's. You people are you roll cartels, you roll together. So it could be any of those people in the relationship, and those people are the you. Why? Because you people have similar characteristics, similar character. But someone saying God said I should marry you, George Chemadugo, I think is a bit of an excess. It's not as if God cannot say it, but He does not say it.
It's not as if God cannot say it.
Yes, it's not as if He cannot. There's nothing He cannot do, but He is not going to say it. Yes, He's not going to say. When He says, I want you to marry this person, for example, if they call the name of Jesus, it is not Jesus that appears in heaven. What appears in heaven is the character of the personality that has been mentioned. So when you're talking about the you, your you is your makeup, your character, your attitude. For example, that is a way you behave. Somebody say we have behaved like this person.
Yes.
What it means is that there is an intersection between your character and the person's character. You are behaving like an animal. What the person is not saying you're an animal. It's just like your attitude that is just presented, your character is just presented is like an animal. Or the person says you are behaving like a goat. It does not mean that you are a goat. It's just that you have picked the traits and the characteristics of a goat. So you are likelihood to be called a goat. It's not that you're a goat. So when God says, I want you to marry you, He would not call George Madugo. The person God will say, in the character, in the personality of this particular person, it's okay. And then when you decide for it to be George Madugo, it is now your personal decision. Choose you this day. It is your right to choose. God has never taken the place of choice and the will of a man or of him. Anytime God removes anything that removes your personal will, takes away choice from you, it's no longer a man. It's now it's an imprisonment. It is a place where the person has been hypnotized and they are going to struggle for the rest of your life.
What if I don't like that character? If that character is not my spec at all, what will I do?
I don't think a man really understands what he means, because I can assure you that there was a guy you were crushing on in your primary school day that now, if you see him, you'll be like, what kind of thing is this?
Did I really do this?
And then there was someone you were crushing on in secondary school, and the only reason why you were crushing on the person in secondary school is because the person is intelligent, always coming first.
Yes.
Now the person first has gone, and the person is now last in life, because that you came first in school does not mean you come first in life. Now when the person is not taking last in life without the first position, now when you look at the person is rickety, the person is almost barbaric in dressing and all that, bewitchingly and mesmerizingly date. You will understand that the vibe for that person is no longer there, because you yourself also has evolved.
Yes.
So what does a man mean when he says, I don't like this?
Okay, sir. So the next question here is, what is your understanding on what emotional balance in marriage should look like?
Okay, emotional balance in marriage is a point. I call it a 37 degrees centigrade atmosphere, where everybody in the family, the atmosphere is calm, it's serene, but it's not void of expression, criticisms. Fair criticisms. Maybe the wife is not looking nice. Just say, babe, you are looking very, very nice today. It's just that it's not as nice as you used to look like. like, that kind of fair criticisms, the family should be able to understand us and take it as goodwill, not things that you take personal. And then there should be a fair understanding of placement, irrespective of the fact that everybody is the same in the family. There should be that place of honor for the man. There should be that place of respect for the man. There should be that place of value for the man. There are things that are secluded. Even God has a cup in the temple that he was using to drink, and he said nobody should go and use the cup and drink. A king forgot about God and felt he was God and used the cup to drink, and God was forced to write English on the wall, and he said, "Mene, mene, tekel of us." He have been weighed in the balance, and he have been found what made God to write was that someone used his cup.
Okay, sir. So you can actually train your wife into your values, right?
Yeah, of course. You can actually train is the wife willing to learn, and how patient are you? Because when you are training someone, there has to be a requirement for patience, endurance, understanding,
does it have a time
tolerance.
frame? How long can I be patient? How long can I tolerate? Because some people don't really have this patience you're talking about.
When you say you are getting into marriage, and in the back you are carrying a marriage is only makeup, bone straight hair, etc., and you don't have endurance, patience, and tolerance in that particular bag, that is a bag you are going to carry very soon. Is the bag of divorce. So you must carry the bag of tolerance. You must carry the bag of patience. You must carry the bag of endurance.
Okay, is it possible that you can carry these bags and yet your marriage will still not excel?
Of course, it's very much possible. If you did not conduct your interview section in the place of Saul for the mission, if you miss that particular interview section and you hire the wrong manager, it doesn't matter how long you wait on a spoiled egg to get it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. This was really exceptional, and I think I learned a lot. If there's nothing I'll go home with now, you saying you will put on that garment of linen and you close all doors that is against divorce, you have to close it. Listeners, my beautiful viewers, we have come to the end of this session. Still tune in, because we'll be here to attend to these questions again, because there are so many questions that are left here. Until the very next time, thank you so much, and be blessed.